Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. We travel the world for past, present, and future stars. And coming to you live from Indianapolis, Indiana, the president of the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, Craig Houk. What's going on, Hawk Time? Talk to
Hey,
me, baby.
hey, Aaron, it's a great day. It's a blessed day. As you can see, I got my WBA hat on. Just to show you, I'm showing some love. The WBA is the number one. If you understand boxing and you're a boxing enthusiasm, 1921 is the oldest boxing uh,
Organization.
organization in history.
Yeah. But
1921,
before,
and then WBC's 1963, and then the IBF's 1983, and the WBO's 98.
yeah. Hey, look, Paul. Yeah, hello, Paul. Paul's saying hello to you. But
Hello,
hey,
Paul. How
look,
you doing today?
yeah,
Well,
hey, look. We want before we get into that, Craig. Boxing community has lost a great person in
yes,
Bob Duffy, who was president at one time for the Ring 8 over 20 some years, an ex police officer, the founder of the New York Boxing Hall of Fame. He passed from cancer. He was fighting a battle, 8 rounds, but he fought one round and he's continued to fight the round with our Lord, and our prayers and our blessings and comfort go out, number one, to his family and also the boxing community as they mourn the loss of a great person. He gave more than he received. Great.
yeah, and amazing person, did amazing work and helped a lot of people. And I think that's the key, Snow, that the enthusiasm we share is giving back, helping people, lifting people up, and that's how you rise up, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And he will be well missed. However, his legacy will live on. With him founding the New York Boxing Hall of Fame, that will continue to run in Ring 8. That's not going nowhere, and quite a few other things that he's done for charity work and stuff that lives on. But it's the boxing community mourns a great loss of a great individual, Bob Duffy.
Absolutely. And, we'd love to give him the 10 count. And we've lost a lot of good men, and we just keep doing the right thing and doing people right, and rising people up.
No, absolutely. But Craig, man, let's get into it. It's 2024, and the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame is vastly approaching right around the corner. Inside of what, 4 months now? May
Yeah, it's
17th and 18th.
May
Talk
May
about those.
17th. Okay, so here's who we got coming in. We got Julian the Hawk Jackson, with a great career, 55-6, 45 knockouts. You can't get in here. And he's from St. Croix, correct?
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas,
St.
okay?
Thomas, the Virgin Islands,
The
man.
Virgin Islands. He's coming. And Rudolph Clark, his cut man, comes in at the same time. They are both celebrity inductees. They're the ones that lead the class. And then we have Bud Taylor, the deceased, will be coming in this year. Will be Bud Taylor. And then Gilberto Mendoza, the WBA president, will be coming in. Timmy Austin, the bantamweight world champion, IBF bantamweight champion, had a lot of title fights. Timmy Austin comes in. Murad Muhammad comes in, great promoter who promoted the great Roy Jones Jr. fight here against your boy. What was his name again?
Richard Hall.
Richard Hall.
Richard
That was a
Hall and Roy
great fight.
Jones, man. That was the
Conseco Fieldhouse, baby.
largest gate, baby. The
Yeah,
largest gate in
yeah.
Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And Murad promoted that fight with Roy Jones. It was on HBO. Boy, was it a thriller.
Yeah. Then we
It
got
was
David.
absolutely a thriller. On there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That we had.
Then we have Dave Hyatt coming in as the Hero Award, and then Ken Snyder, the Lifetime Achievement Award. Debbie King, who promoted Tom Boom Boom Johnson, IBF manager, and Tom Boom Boom Johnson's from Evansville, Indiana. And then we have Jack Callahan coming in from Hammond, Indiana, who fought for the title, the WBA title. And then Gary Guyton, who fought for the WBA title, comes in. He fought John the Beast Mugabe. And then Altus Allen comes in for the Old Timers Award, and that's going to be a great group. But let's go back and talk about that fight with Murad Muhammad promoted there with Roy Jones Jr. and Richard Hall. I mean, what a great fight that was. And, I think you were in on that fight. You was the trainer, correct, Snow?
Yeah, I trained Richard Hall at that time. He was the WBA champion. They had let the belt go, and we fought for it and won it. We won the title down in Atlantic City. Richard Hall did to become the WBA light heavyweight champion. But Roy Jones had the rest of the belt, so it was naturally to match him up so Roy Jones could get the belt back, the WBA belt back, and that's what he did. He fought. And what a thrill. And, Richard Hall, make no excuses, but he was sick. He came in there. He said, I'm going to give it the best I got. And he did. Roy Jones was just on the top of his game. He was much more faster, much more sharper. And some of the moves that Roy Jones were doing it's just hard to get away from it. It's hard to defend it. But Richard Hall stood there and tried every thing that we possibly could do to try to take advantage of. But it was a thrilling fight. You had Indiana Pacers basketball team. All of them were there. And so it was
Mark
a
Jackson.
thrilling. Yeah. And Larry Bird, don't forget, he was president of
like the coach, the president, one of the staff.
He was the president, Reggie Miller. So it was a thrilling night.
You can't get a bigger name than than Larry Bird. And I got a picture of Larry Bird and Marvin Johnson, our 3-time light heavyweight champion of the world. He's the centerpiece of the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Great fighter, WBA and WBC world champion. We've had some great world champions. The WBC world champion, a guy named J.B. Williamson, and Marvin Johnson was WBA world champion. We've had some guys that fought for the world WBA world title. Even Terry Ray, Stingray fought for the title. So we have some guys that fought for the title. Angel Manfredi fought for the title as well. So we've had some great fighters. He fought Stevie Johnson for the title. We have some great fighters from Indiana. So we try to get as many people as involved. We have the women's world champion, WBC world champion, and women's world champion from Gary, Indiana. You might know her name, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. What's her name?
You gotta remember her name. You gotta remember her name, champ.
Yeah. It'll come to me right off here. But let's read some of these in the chat. Paul says, I was there embracing that night. He had so much heart. I could not believe it. He's talking about Richard Hall, Paul. Yes, he did. And he was from Jamaica. Yes, he was from Jamaica. He was in the line of different Jamaica heavyweight champions, Simon Brown, some good fighters that come from Jamaica. Richard Hall displayed that. And Nichelle says, hey, champ. Hey, Craig. How you doing this morning?
Great to talk to you. And here's what I'm going to do you, Nichelle. I'm going to bail Aaron Snow out there. It was Mary McGee. Mary McGee is our only women's world champion with the real belt. Mary McGee from Gary, Indiana, has the WBC belt. So, hey, Snow, I still love you, brother.
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, I know Mary. I think I got some pictures with her somewhere.
Great fighter from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Well, you don't stop at men who display greatness in the state of Indiana. You also you're all inclusive. You're multicultural. multiracial, who you put in there. It's not just black and not just white, not just male, not just female. Uh, from what my viewpoint, you try to give those that have covered the sport of boxing a look, and your board that meets every Thursday. And I want to say to people, since your board were mentioned Thursday, prayers do be answered, Craig. You know,
Yeah.
Fred Burns was fighting. He was had a stint in a long term in the hospital, but he's been making the
Yeah, he's
last
been
few
released.
Thursday meetings.
Yeah, Fred Burns, our prayers for Fred Burns. And if you know Fred Burns, he's probably the greatest promoter in Indianapolis, Indiana history. Him and Russell Peltz did a lot of work together. He did work with Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arum, Don King. He's always went to the top. So he was one of my mentors. It shows me how to promote. Of course, I started promoting myself back in 1989 when I turned pro, and I had 9 fights in the state of I had 47 fights in the state of Indiana. That's the most in history. I was a ticket seller, and I fought 9 times in the county, right, Greensburg, Indiana, bringing professional boxing to my hometown. So I try to do as much positive work out there as I possibly can. But are we going to talk about those heavyweights? What are we going to talk about next? No, you just tell me where to go,
No,
because I got
we
some.
got to first. Let's go here to the chat room. Avery Cream says, hey, Craig, you know, she's saying, hey to you, how you doing? And also, we got to talk about that museum you got. So,
Okay, so yeah,
Indianapolis.
yeah.
Is it in Indianapolis? Where is it
So it's down
located at?
it's in VV, Indiana. Okay, and VV, Indiana is famous for the wine convention that we have every year. The winery. So we do the winery every year. We bring Marvin Johnson in every year, and we do a parade, and then we do a dinner, and we celebrate the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And I believe we're on year 4 for the parade and VV, Indiana. So the museum, and what I do at the museum is I have a boxing gym in there, and they train fighters, and they work with fighters daily during the week. And then I put all my memorabilia in there. So, for example, a Mike Tyson signed autograph, any type of autographs. And obviously, I've got all Indiana's champions in there. And we talk about the obviously who's coming in next. We do our meetings, who we think we should come in, and who where we're going next with the whole program. So yeah, and you got to see it. The whole town of VV gets there, and they put us on these carts, and we go through the parade. We have Larry Donald and Timmy Austin and the Tubbs brothers, and they're all world champion amateurs and world championship pro fighters. So we put them in there, and they get on the carts, and they get recognized, and it's a good moment for those guys. It's a good moment for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Now, me and Dave Hyatt go way back years ago. One thing about Dave Hyatt, I know none of my memorabilia will be stolen. There is a little basketball, a little small town. Them guys are just redneck guys talking about basketball, and they try to boxing helps them keep them out of trouble and different stuff. And he's taking the guys different spots and getting them sparring and getting them some different stuff. But Dave Hyatt, who will get the Hero Award this year, he helps me tremendously with the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, as well as Fred Burns and Keith Boggs and Sugar Ray Seals, who I just spoke to yesterday. Sugar Ray Seals has, his
Sugar
wife.
Man, Sugar
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, his wife passed away, and he's talking about how he's dating a 71-year-old woman now, and they're starting to do good, and hopefully he gets remarried. So that his prayers have been answered too. So things are going good. So all good. Hey, we're doing all good.
Hey,
Fred's
we all
doing
got
good.
hope at everyone,
Everybody's
baby.
yeah, we're throwing some punches. Snow, we're throwing some punches. Throwing some punches.
Yeah, well, Craig, what's the date? What's the date for the induction ceremonies, and
Okay,
what
so it's May
place?
it's May 17th and 18th, and everything kicks off Friday the 17th at 5:30, and that's our meet and greet. And we all get together, and then we'll do some great stuff. And again, we got who do we got coming? The bronze medal winner is Nate. What's his last name?
Nate Jones, baby, the Snake Jones
I
from
knew you wouldn't forget
Chicago.
that one,
Yeah,
Chip.
yeah,
So Nate
yeah.
Jones, who was a bronze medal winner.
1996, baby.
Yeah,
He's
96
going to
with
receive his
Floyd
medal
Mayweather.
back.
With Floyd Mayweather, that whole class, 96. I think David Diaz and some of those guys. Yeah, 96. So he's coming in, and we're giving him his bronze medal because I believe he lost it somehow. So we're bringing him in the bronze medal. And last year we brought in Marvin Johnson, giving him his bronze, and Timmy Austin, who can give him his 92 bronze. So they went 20 years different. We had a 1972 bronze medal winner last year with Aaron Snowell, and then we had a 90, 92 with the Dream Team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy Austin and Larry Donald, they were both there, and this will be great. And Larry Donald came in last year as an inductee. A great person, great fighter. And, guy, we're just trying to give recognition to the fighters, the ones that deserve it here in Indiana and anywhere close, obviously, in the Midwest. And anybody fought in Indiana will be recognized. And anybody who is a celebrity inductee slash, Julian Jackson. You can't get any higher than Julian Jackson. He's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Tony Zale, he's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. We put Tony Zale in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame in year 2018. 1940 to 46 middleweight champion, and 46 to 48. Here's what I tell you. Yeah, I know they say he lost his belts or whatever. I just tell them to go out and get new replicates, just like me and you do, Snow. Go get them new belts, new medals, new whatever, and forget about that old stuff and move on. Would you agree?
Yeah, because once a champ, always a champ. Well,
Yeah,
if they made it one time, it could be made again. And we make
yeah, make
sure
it.
that the guys that
Yeah,
have misfortune with especially,
yeah,
it means so much. Like this year, Nate Jones,
yeah,
his twin sister. What a story. He's emotionally involved, so he took his medal to have something a part of his sister. He put his bronze medal in the casket with it. So
yeah. So it
it's
means a
in the
lot to him.
ground.
The
It
awards
means a lot, man. When we told him he was getting his medal back, boy, did he start crying, man.
yeah, and
He said, "No, Snow, no, Craig, no." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, you're getting it back." He
yeah.
said, "May's not coming fast enough." He said, "You sure of it? You got it." I said, "We got it, and you're going to be receiving it."
And Nate does a tremendous job there in Chicago, training fighters and doing all kinds of stuff. I got him on my Instagram. He's doing all kinds of great work, and he's giving back the best he can. And he still maintains a great relationship with Floyd Mayweather as well. And that might be some of his claim to fame. But Floyd made his own claim to fame, and Floyd. Mayweather fought in the Indiana Black Expo. He's eligible for the Indiana
Well,
Boxing Hall of Fame.
don't that make him qualified
Of
to
course, I
be on
mean,
the ballot?
duh. Anybody that fought in Indiana is amateur or pro. Them
and,
guys should
and,
be
and,
recognized.
and what makes that tournament so great? Muhammad Ali was the one's name. It was the Muhammad Ali tournament with the Black Expo.
1994, he brought it
Yeah,
here.
and Floyd won
Was an
in his weight
amateur.
division
He was
as
17 years
an
old.
amateur. He won
17,
that
right?
tournament.
Won that tournament.
Yeah, yeah. It
That's
was.
how.
It's an amazing
It's
story.
amazing how that works. It works.
Yeah. Well, the board got to put Floyd Mayweather on that ballot, and
Well, of
hopefully when
course, of
they.
course. The thing about it is we would hope that Floyd and his dad would show because they both were here. Floyd Mayweather's dad brought him here, put him in the tournament. His dad made him a hell of a fighter, so they would both go in at the same time. And obviously, Floyd Mayweather is such a boxing icon and draws so much attention to the sport that it's hard to. We don't know if we would be able to put him up and put him where he needed to go to find out what he wanted and different details from there. So Floyd's more than welcome, and him and his father to come in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame anytime they want to. We just got to get the right connections to the word out there to everybody. Here's what they think. Well, he's trying to make money off me. He's trying to make money off me. He's trying to make money on me. Hey, look, Snowell, I work full time. I work two jobs sometimes. I ain't making no money off these guys. I'm lucky to keep it going, and I just going to keep it going in a positive way and keep it going. Now, obviously, there's a cost for the event. It usually costs about $8,000 to throw an event like that, and you have to raise enough money to break even every year to keep going with the awards and everything. Now, we're legitimately a 501c. We're legitimate. We're a complete business. So, we did everything with the state and got certified, and we're ready to go. So, that's all we're going
Yeah.
to do is just keep it going and honor the
And May,
fighters that take the prize.
it's an annual event. This would be the 8th year or 9th year.
So we started in 2018. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. I think that's eight, champ. Eight.
Eight, yeah,
It's a standing eight
eight,
count. That's a
eight
standing eight.
successful years. Hey, maybe on the 10th year, Floyd Mayweather comes in, and it was set that for 10 years to make one big smash with Floyd. Maybe we try to get him to come in there for the 10. Man, that would be awesome.
Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, anybody that is a high level guy that did tremendous stuff in boxing is come on in, get a hold of me any way you want to, and I'll.
But Craig,
yep.
There was changes had to be made. You left from one hotel and you got a new hotel.
Correct.
What's the new hotel?
Okay, the new hotel is the Delta Marriott. All right. And I will put that up on there because you had wrote out the Delta Marriott. I'll put that up there when you post this, exactly where it is. And I got it there because then the rooms can go down from 200 to 150. It's 100. They say $50 for the week for the night, and it helps people. And we have a little sports bar in there as well, which we didn't have at the other place. So they have a sports bar in there, and they'll be able to hang out there to sports bar while they're at the event for the whole weekend. So it's going to be an amazing weekend in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame.
Well, let's talk about the grub, because that buffet last year was simply
Well, we're going to do it
amazing. That
again,
food was good.
Snow. If you don't
You're
sit down,
going to do the buffet again? Oh, boy.
we're going to do the buffet, man. You're going to get in line, get your food, get your buffet. That's what you pay for. You pay $150. You get your food, you get your drinks, you get to hang out, and and do the event. And that's the way it's put on. It's a sit down event. It's not stand up, it's not hold all that stuff. Sit down just like the way it's supposed to be done, and then everybody gets up there and speaks. So Friday night we're going to do obviously on Friday night we're going to introduce the bronze medal winner. I think we're going to do David Tua, Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. If he's coming in as well, he says he is. So David Tua, who came in for last year, couldn't make it. We're going to honor him on that Friday night. And then we're going to do the auction. Snow, we do the auction every year. That's to raise money to keep the event going. And then, we're going to talk, meet and greet.
Well, what's some of the stuff, man, that's on the auctioning block, man? So people get the download to come in. I know as it gets closer, more stuff start coming in. It changes all the time, but just mention some of the stuff that would be auctioned off. Great.
All right, we're going to have
and none of that auction. Try to auction your hats and stuff off. But come on. All right, come on, bro. Because I know you, man. You take your shirt off in auction if somebody says they like it.
Hey, whatever it takes, Snow. Whatever it takes, Snow. We'll have some great autograph pictures from some of the great fighters as well, Marvin Johnson and Ray Seals and some guy named Mike Tyson and some different great pictures like that as well. We'll have some great stuff up there. But it's about everybody. It can't center around one person. We're trying to spread as much love to as many people and get as many people involved as we can. We have a great champion, Christy Fulmer. A great women's champion that is in. She helps out. She comes to She comes to the parade and tries to promote boxing. She's a WBF champion, which is a minor belt, which we recognize, but we don't give it as much glory as the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and WBO. Them the four biggest belts, so we honor them, and they do have what's called a convention. And at the convention, you go to the convention, you find out what's going on. You can find out, like I went, and when I went to the convention, the WBA convention, one of my concerns was, where's Frankie Martin rated, since he did the title shot. And he's rated number 3 by the WBA, and it was his birthday yesterday. He's 18-0, kid on the way up there. Maybe got some wrong information about whether he should take this fight or take that fight. But when somebody offers you $1 million, you take it. You don't count somebody else's money; you count your own, because it's going to be hard to make $1 million in boxing.
Millions
Would
and
you say
millions,
that's
baby.
fair?
Don't let it get away, baby. Don't let it get away. But hey, look,
Yes,
we
that's
got
what I tell them. We'll tell them, keep who's ever got your ear, you got to do what's your best interest. Take a shot, because you'll never know. If you don't take a shot, you'll be wondering if you could have did it, or how you would have prepared, or even if you put on a good performance. Sometimes winning is not going to be not going to be the story. It's the effort that you give during the fight. And that's
oh,
what I try to tell
absolutely.
people. Yeah.
Well,
You put on a great show.
Tito Ocasio in the chat room, Craig. I don't want to get too far behind. Um,
Talk about
he's saying, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" He's saying there in Snow, Craig Hawk, love you guys. Tito down there in Florida with
it. Great
316 box
trainer,
club.
great
He's been on the
person.
show.
Great person, great trainer, does a lot of great things. He's well connected in boxing, especially in Puerto Rico. Hooked me up with Felix Trinidad, and we went over there and made Felix Trinidad's dream come true and his dad's dream come true, as we honored him there. At the Puerto Rican Sports Hall of Fame, and they should be honored because he made his son world champion. He had some great fights. I mean, Felix Trinidad, I think, only lost 3 fights in his whole career. So what a great fighter that guy was. So yeah, Tito's a great person, great trainer, doing great work down there in Florida. He's in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and me and you'll be down there at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame this year, won't we, Snow?
Oh, ain't no question about
We'll
it.
be there. We'll be there. I mean, I'm working full
We'll be
time,
there
so I
live
couldn't
with
be there
Steve
for the.
Canton, baby.
Yeah,
Bang,
yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Canton, man. Steve Canton's really
Steve
doing it,
Canton, what a
man. That
great guy.
museum that he has. Yeah,
Yeah.
another great guy. Carl King is he's going
Yes,
in
Carl King's
in
coming
the
in.
whole. And what I like is a balance. Like I said, it just ain't all black guys. It ain't just all white guys. It ain't all Hispanic guys. It ain't all men. It ain't all women. Steve Canton got a balance. This class has a lot of great Hispanic fighters going in there, and
Diversity.
that's a
That's
blessing
the key.
that he's able to do that being in Florida. Huh?
Yeah. You have to draw all kinds
Yeah,
of crowds. Okay.
I love to see that diversity. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Where it's balanced out, guys that are great that fought there in the state, and he's covering the history to make that happen, man.
Florida's a great
And
state.
that's good. And Henry Hascop, who's president of the New
New
Jersey
Jersey.
Boxing Hall of Fame, and he was president of Ring 8 at one time. He's on there. He says great organization ran by a great boxing guy. But hey, Henry Hascop is when Henry Hascop, not only is he a great president like yourself, Craig,
He's a
but
good
he's a
human
great
being.
boxing guy, and he's a
Great
great
human being.
boxing historian. Yes, he
Yes.
is. Henry's a great. While we're on this conversation, there was a fighter we know him, but we won't mention his name. I'm going to tell you the type of guy um, Bob Duffy was, and Henry Hascop is a fighter that we mutually know. Reached hardship, and he was training guys, and he couldn't, he didn't have no car to make it consistently to the gym. Called Henry Hascop. Henry Hascop called um, uh, Bob up, and like magic, something mystical. them guys rallied up the cats. I put a little bit up. Henry put a little bit up. But Ring 8 and Bob Duffy, man, they covered the nut to get an automobile and cover some bills and stuff like that for this guy, man. That's the kind of stuff uh, Bob Duffy used to do on a constant basis, that guys that reach hardship. And when I say Bob Duffy's going to be missed, man, he's going to be missed, is because he did great things like that constantly. You know, Ring 8's still there, but it's always nice when you have a personal relationship. You can pick
Yeah,
up the phone, call them, talk to the guy. You know that, Craig.
yeah. Well,
Like me and you do, talk all the
you
time.
know exactly who he reminds me of is Ernie Brown. Ernie Brown's a great
Yeah.
man. He would buy flame tickets to get guys over to the event, the National Boxing Hall of Fame. He would do whatever it does to help different people. Ernie Brown helped Montel Griffin. He helped David Diaz. He helped all those guys from Chicago get different Hall of Fames to be more diverse and get their names out there, and did a lot of great things for those guys. So those guys just need to appreciate it, what they got, not what they didn't get. There's still some of them are crying to get in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I understand that, but I think you should appreciate what you get, and if you, and then hope you get in more. But just be thankful for what you get into. Would you say that's correct?
Oh, absolutely, man. Ain't nothing etched in stone. Hey, look, when God blesses you with certain things, certain time periods, hey, look, hey, what like I all the time say is, what God has already blessed me with, He done blessed me with a whole lot, and I'm very,
Yeah.
very thankful. When what's for you, you want to get it. What ain't for you, ain't gonna get it. So it is what it is. But uh, definitely, these guys got to be appreciative of what people are doing for them. It's just nice to have so many state Hall of Fames around the country that held boxing, and where they're trying to hold on to boxing history, people
Yes.
that were made the history for the state. And you know, that's a great thing, man. Henry Hascop says no truer words spoken, Craig. So Henry Hascop is here. He's right on top of it.
Henry's a
Too.
great man. He's put a lot of people in the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame. Does a lot of positive stuff for a lot of people. We just need to be thankful. I think it's going to be humble. I came up humble, and that's the way I'm going to be. Is just be humble and be thankful for anything that comes my way, and hopefully, as I bless people, God's going to bless me. So that's how it works, in my humble opinion.
Well, you do you do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
Yes.
And when it comes down to it, man, you know, uh, covering the sport, Henry Hascop, uh, on the historical side, no one does it better, no one does it greater
And he
than
feeds you from
Henry
the time you get
Hascop.
in to the time you get out.
Yeah. Well, Henry, Henry's not getting younger. He's getting up there in age, but his mind and his wit and his grit is still sharp. And, Henry, along with Bob Duffy, man, them guys work uh,
Great people.
diligently to make sure boxing's covered, like you do with the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And people don't know, man, to run the Hall of Fame, to get the dinners up and going, man, is just unbelievable. That just have that many boxing people come together and have a great time.
Well, there's one thing I told about Fred and all those guys.
Well, we got a little pause in action.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig, we're the feed froze up a little bit, but we're streaming across many platforms. You're right back with uh froze. Now you're right back on it. But
Okay.
these things happen when you're streaming. So many great words are being spoken, and bang,
Well,
bang, bang,
we'll
everything feeds up. But
keep.
hey, look, yeah. Yeah, well. Let's get in. Let's talk boxing, man, around the globe. Since we are the World Boxing Review radio show, we cover boxing all around the world. Let's hop right into it. The hot topic on many people's mind and agenda is Saudi Arabia, man. Let's talk about some things that recently happened, things that are going to happen, let's talk about Francis Ngannou, the
Francis Ngannou.
MMA guy that cost. Yeah,
Here's the thing,
let's talk
and
about him.
I want to set the record straight on this, Snow. I am not a MMA fan. I'm a boxing fan, okay? But Francis is an amazing story that needs to be told. And another thing is, he's got a very good stand-up game. And what he did against Tyson Fury was history. Okay, it was historical. And obviously, you used to train Mike Tyson. I'm a Mike Tyson fan. What Mike Tyson did in helping Francis Ngannou come that close to beating Tyson Fury is amazing. So he's dead poor. He's broke. He was dead poor. He was homeless. And now he goes out and makes $10 million fighting Tyson Fury. And now Anthony Joshua with Frank Warren. He's a great promoter of the year 2022. He gets Ngannou to fight Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. So the big money comes back. And then he gets 50 million. Anthony Joshua, and Nganou's getting 20 million. You can't match that money. And everybody goes, well, who cares? And everybody goes, well, who cares? And I'm like, well, nobody's going to care what you say because you're not even making it a difference. These guys are getting paid. And he's helping boxing. That's what's happened. They get 50 million and 20 million. Amazing fight. And, I can't wait for it to happen, to be honest. And let's see it. I really think that Usyk's going to beat Tyson Fury. I really think Fury's done. I love Tyson Fury. He's a breath of fresh air. I love Tyson Fury. I think he's going to get out hustled by Usyk, just like Anthony Joshua got out hustled by him. And I was in Puerto Rico when I predicted that fight. And I think Usyk's the best heavyweight champion in the world. And I think come back around. And I think there's going to be an Usyk and Anthony Joshua 3. And that's going to finish it off to who's really the best heavyweight champion in the world right now. Wilder's down, Fury's down, Usyk's up, Joshua's number 2. And it's tough right now. That's the way it goes.
Hey, Francis Ngannou, I have never seen the flying right here hand punch that
Superman,
he added in the box.
Superman punching through. I love that. The Superman punch.
He do a flying right hand punch. But here, let's look let's be a critic for a moment here.
Okay.
Here's a guy who fights the top heavyweight in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
0-0 professional fights. At MMA fight. All right.
Correct.
Now let's look at it down on paper as history is going to record it. Here's a man fights the top heavyweight in the world.
Mm-hmm.
0-0. Fights him and gives a great fight where so many people thought that he won. But the judges felt that Tyson Fury edged it out after getting up off the deck to edge it out. Now, as an 0-1 fighter, he's 0-1. He's rated. Okay, let's look at it. Our history's going to record it. Okay, he's 0-1, his record.
Yeah.
Then he fights one of the top 3 or second best heavyweight in the world that's coming up.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, as it's recorded, fighting a 0-1 guy. On paper, it looks like a total mismatch. On paper. He's fighting a 0-0 guy. But the old saying in boxing is that you never know how good a fighter is until he gets in the ring with a fighter that everyone knows that can fight, and he rises to the cage and then show how well he can fight. With the Anthony Joshua fight, that's what you're up against. But if he loses, he has lost to a 0-1 fighter. Now, Eddie Hearns was saying that he's scared about this fight and what the thing is. Well, he needs to be scared is
Eddie Hearns
because
was
when
the
a guy,
promoter.
when a guy like Mike Tyson says a guy can whack, he can whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe
And
you.
yeah, you believe him.
I
Certain
believe
guys
him
with
because
experience,
Tyson knows what he's talking about.
he's been around a guy. When he says the guy can whack, he can whack, and he showed that he can whack. Now, does does Anthony Joshua uh, have the same type of chin as Tyson Fury?
Here's another thing.
No, I don't think so. Because Tyson
Probably not.
Fury gets up off the deck and he wins. And it's Anthony Joshua doesn't have the greatest beard, as we call it in boxing.
Correct.
So if Francis Ngannou whacks him like he whacked Tyson Fury, you can forget about it. The fight's going to be over.
Well, that might be true, but one thing about it is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner along with Usyk. One was the smaller weight, the heavyweight. They're both heavyweight. All right. So if you look at that, both those guys should be able to outbox Ngannou, in my opinion, outboxing. That's the only chance I think he has is outboxing. But Hearns, and I recorded that wrong. Eddie Hearns was the promoter of the year in 2022, not Warren, Eddie Hearns. And Hearns has his money on Joshua, and that's what he's betting, and he's giving Joshua a chance at greatness. So we'll see if he'll be able to make it or not. But that's what's the test of boxing, and that's what I like. I like a great test. I like a great story. And, right there's a great fight, great stories getting ready to happen and fold right in front of us. And we're gonna watch it go down in history.
Yeah, well, one thing that we can say against the rules, when one does it, other people can do it too. So it makes it tough for commissions to say this fight is a mismatch when you bring a guy 0-0
Well,
fighting a best fighter in the world. So
Conor McGregor, Floyd
it
Mayweather.
opens in the game, in the sport, around the states and everywhere. It opens up a whole new can of worms that all of them are going to have to deal with. Is that when you bring a fighter and you say he's 0-0 and you want to have him match with, they can't say, well, we can't let it happen, is because
Correct.
it's
But
already
here's the
done
deal.
happened. So,
He's
but
not really.
that's a game changer in this era.
Yeah, but he's an MMA fighter. And how many? He's
Yeah,
not just had.
still don't matter. It
Yeah, he's
still
had
don't matter.
fights.
He
I
as
know,
as a
but
professional fighter, he was 0-0 fighting one of the best fighters in the world.
just
That
like the
is a
movie
case
Creed.
that needs to
Just
be.
like the movie Creed. Just like the movie Creed. This is a Creed movie right here, going right now. Snowell. Creed.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But as history's going to record it, is that Tyson Fury fought a guy who was 0-0 as a professional fighter, and Anthony Joshua is going to fight a professional fighter who's 0-1.
Look,
Does that make it interesting?
well, if I'm the commissioner and the fight's worth $100 million, I'm gonna go ahead and check it off. It's okay. And
As
that's
I,
how it's
hey,
done. Money
hey,
talks and bull crap
if you
walks.
got any money, you better not bet on
Show
Sonny.
me the money. Show me the money, Snowell.
There's great opportunities happen, man, and those who never take the risk to fail greatly never achieve greatly, and they're taking great risks, And hats off to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who's trying something new. They're putting up their money. They said, "Well, let's go for it," and it's all working out to the king, for the kingdom. They're putting on great fights. They're putting on great matchups. And at one time, Don King and Bob Burnham were working with all different types of promoters. We're going to do that at one time.
Yes.
Work with a lot of different promoters when Don King controlled the heavyweight division in boxing, and it never materialized with HBO. But now that Eddie Hearns and Frank Warren, Bob Burnham, and all of them are coming with the juggling act over there. It seems to be working out. They're bringing their top with the Zone and ESPN. All of them are working together in the collaboration of things. So, man, great things are really, really happening.
What about the fight tonight? The
What about the fight?
light heavyweight championship tonight.
Yeah, what about it?
I got my guy. He's 18-0, 19-0, 17-0. He's 19-0. He's gonna knock him out again. He's gonna be 20-0.
Well, let's go to the chat room here. Look, man,
Oh.
we see our Tito's grandson, Jared, the champ. Prayers have been answered for him also. He was in the hospital, and all of us prayed for him, and he's come out. He's doing well, and thank you, Tito, for reminding us of Jared that we pray for him. What a great guy. He's a great kid. Who's doing well. And let me tell you, man, he has a left hook to the body that's second to none. I tell you that. I bet you no other kid has smacked him in the face. The kid was bullying him, smack him in the face. He says, all right, whack, left hook to the body down. The kid went. He got expelled from school, but let me tell you, he let that kid have it. It won't be bullying no more, man. That he got a great look. Left hook to the body, champ. Let's talk about fighter of the year. Let's talk about. There's so much, conversation about the fighter of the year. I said this. Terrence Crawford in 2023, hands down.
Hands down, not even close. I mean, here's the thing. Oh, he didn't fight enough. He didn't do that. Look, man, he's got the biggest fight of his career. And everybody thinks it's going to be a close fight, and he dominates the fight. He's the fighter of the year. That's the way I feel. Now they can give it to the other guy. Here's the thing: the smaller weights don't get the same respect as the bigger weights. Just unfortunately they don't. And I'm just trying to say, it's hard when you have the Lopez, like the Ricardo Lopez is 40-0 or whatever. They don't get the same respect as they get up as the heavier weights because it's hard to maintain, that greatness, because there's so many more. So there's lesser competition the smaller the weights, in my opinion. But you can't take anything away from those guys. They're still winning, But definitely Terrence Crawford, hands down, it's not even close. Omaha, Nebraska. A humble guy, goes to a lot of Big Ten games for Omaha, Nebraska. Does a lot for Omaha, Nebraska. Put Omaha, Nebraska on the map because our great Ron Standard passed away, who fought Joe Frazier. It was Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey, man, you're talking about Joe Frazier. His birthday, Muhammad Ali's birthday is coming up on the 17th.
Joe just had one.
Joe just had one, so there's a lot of great birthdays to those that have moved onward and forward to their Lord, and we just had heavenly birthday for all of them to keep their name and legacy alive is just amazing too.
Ali, 1960 gold medal winner. Joe Frazier, 1964 gold medal winner. George Foreman, 1968 gold medal winner. 72 was boycotted. What great
absolutely.
Great champions.
Yeah, what great champions.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, while we're on the subject of Muhammad Ali, for Black History Month, as we do every year at the Fighters Heaven in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, formerly Muhammad Ali's training camp that Muhammad Ali built in 1972. We're going to have Black History Month celebration, and we're going to thank you for coming, Craig. You have made a commitment that you're going to be there. We feed everybody who free would be a part of the program to say something for 3 minutes, to be a part of Black history. And why Black history, people say, in this time and age, is because we try to cover those who have paid the price, who may not been recognized, is that we tried to recognize them. As you know, what we all the time try to do, Craig, we try to recognize those to say things about people or fighters that during this time, get up there to get 3 minutes. They might want to say something about a fighter who nobody knows that they felt did something. They get a chance to say it. We eat. We have a little music playing, and we eat. People talk, shake hands, take pictures. You know, that's what it's all about. It ain't
Let's face it.
this and
Jack,
about that.
let's face it. Jack Johnson, 1908 to 1915, and he was ahead of his time. You know what I'm saying? He was way ahead of his time, and so I mean, all those great fighters, we recognize it, and that's part of the history. And Joe, and let's get, they can say what they want about John Johnson. He paid a lot of waves for a lot of guys to get to where they are right now.
Well, yeah, for society as a whole. Don't forget,
Yes,
at one time in boxing, they did have called drawing the colored line, where John L. Sullivan drew the color line, and every heavyweight champion after that pursued it, wouldn't let African Americans fight for the heavyweight
yeah,
championship. And then when Jack Johnson became heavyweight champion, they tried to use reverse racism and say Jack Johnson wouldn't fight uh, uh, all the guys like Langford and all of them for the heavyweight champion, when he had already fought them in the colored league, boxing league, 6 or 7 times, and they couldn't make the kind of money that he could fight. So it ain't that he didn't want to. He did. He fought all of them guys
he's
that
ready
he
to move
said that he
forward.
didn't fight. Yeah,
Yeah,
he wanted to move forward. You fight a guy 6, 7, 8 times.
you
What do
don't
you
want
want
to
him to
fight him
do?
with
Fight
that.
100 times?
No,
You
you
know
don't.
that
They don't get a
he
chance. Now, what gets a chance is we're gonna whip up on whoever's next in front of us, and if they're white, guess what? We're gonna whip up on them. If they're black, guess what? We're gonna whip up on them. So who's ever number one contender? That's probably who we're gonna whip. If somebody's in the past, we ain't going back there. Yep.
yeah. Well,
Who's
Henry
number
Hascott
one?
said in 1972, Sugar Ray Seal won the gold medal, and he is the only boxer from UAV to do so. He's the
Sugar
only
Ray
guy,
from
huh?
Tacoma, Washington.
Right.
From Tacoma, Washington, to win the gold
Yeah.
medal. Well,
Yes.
I don't know about that. There was another fighter. I don't know. There was
Leo
another
Randolph.
fighter. Leroy Randolph.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
on the Muhammad
I know what
Ali
I'm
team.
talking about. Snow. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dwayne Bobbick was the heavyweight from the
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah. Dwayne Bobbick, everybody
But
thought was going to win gold medal.
oh yeah,
They,
yeah.
had Dwayne Bobbick down. He was number one. And unfortunately, he ran into a guy named Big John Tate or something like that. And that fight,
Yeah,
guess where it
from
was?
Tennessee.
Guess where that fight was? No. Dwayne Bobbick, Big John Tate. Guess where that fight was?
Where in Indianapolis?
Indianapolis, Indiana. And guess who promoted it? Fred Burns. And guess
Burns.
what?
Yeah,
Guess
yeah,
what Big
yeah,
John Tate did to Dwayne Bobbick? Knocked him
yeah,
straight to the dog.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yes.
I was there that night uh, with Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. I was assistant trainer under Slim Robinson when Eddie fought Marvin Johnson at the University of Tennessee. And the headline in the card was Big John Tate, Mike Weaver, where Big John Tate was winning the whole fight, and he got
45
whacked
seconds left.
head
45 seconds
first.
left.
Big John Tate went down in the canvas,
Yeah.
so
Face
it's
first.
face first. And
Yes.
you could, hey, look, that
Your
screaming
pin
crowd of
drop.
the Big Orange men, yeah, you could hear a pin drop. It was a great night of boxing, and we were on the winning side. Is when Eddie Mustafa, then Eddie the Flame Gregory, uh, beat
Defeated
Marvin
Marvin
Johnson,
Johnson.
become the WBA light heavyweight champion of the world. What a night that
Yeah.
was, and
I was
it was just amazing.
at the WBA convention when they give Eddie another belt as well, because he had the first belt that was made for the WBA. It was a different style belt, and they were
Yeah, it was the red belt.
waving over it. Yeah, we're going all over it. Yeah, but we called Marvin Johnson that night from and you know, from the WBA convention when I was with Eddie, and he wanted to make sure I told him hello and everything like that. And it was kind of ironic because not long after that, Eddie lost his wife. You remember his wife passed away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and right after that, right after he had spoken to Marvin Johnson and Mrs. Johnson from Indianapolis, Indiana. So we're just chasing the history and still doing positive stuff, Snow. Still positive.
Oh, absolutely. We got some in the chat room is lit up like the 4th of July, Craig, and boy, we're talking it.
Who do we got?
Paul. Paul says, Aaron, if you see my place, it is African art, African American, from singers to boxers to activists. Stop racism. Once people realize there is one God and we are all equal, love you, brother, for the same God that made you make me too. Amen. You're absolutely right about that. Only one God, and we got to learn to love one another, and we all have to get along. How true, how well spoken. Like all the time, people, if you want to see the United Nations, come on over to my mother's house.
Well, look, man. You know,
What's
it's like the boxing gym. I think I was the only white guy there, maybe sometimes. But you know, it's the way it
that?
goes. It's
It's
a
just the way
brotherhood.
it
It's a
goes, man.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
there was
just
other white
love.
guys there too, but you know, rare. But that's okay. Hey,
Yeah, yeah. Hey, like we
when we
used to
root for the
say, he
Miami
might.
Dolphins, we root for the
Yeah,
Miami Dolphins. There's black
that's the
players,
day.
there's white players, and if the Mexican players make it too, or whoever makes it, we're with them too, man. So when we're just rooting for the Dolphins, and that's the way we should root. Whoever you root for is your team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, it don't make no difference. The color,
yeah. And
greatness has no color. Greatness
Henry
has no
Hascott
color.
says Dwayne Bobbick was the heavyweight champion from the U.S. and he lost. Bobbick televiewed Stevens in 1972 Olympics, Olympic Games heavyweight quarterfinal.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
you're
Here's the
absolutely
deal.
right. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's the deal.
good, good.
Trevor uh, Stevenson Taylor was maybe the greatest amateur ever. He never did turn pro. He might have been able to win the heavyweight world championship, but he did beat Bobbick. He beat a lot of good guys out of the United States.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he was an amateur who was a seasoned pro.
Correct. And
he
they, and the
for three
Cubans give him,
rounds he would could whoop
yeah.
him.
He was in with the
Yeah.
president. The president would get him whatever he wanted. He got food. He got women there. I mean, there wasn't nothing he could get. He was the king of Cuba. Why did he want to leave? And that's why he did it, and just kept winning gold medals for him. And that's what his job was to do. And guess what he did? He did that. He beat up Bobbick. He's part of his numbers game. You know, and who's next? Who's next? Who's next? And he beat him up. Yeah, totally.
Yes. Eh, So we jump from there to that. So
Well, we did have one gold
Haney,
medal winner.
Haney and Javante Davis. Haney and
Haney
Javante. Yeah. Devin
Davis.
Haney and
Davis
Javante Davis.
all day long.
Yeah, great
In my
pound
opinion,
counterpuncher.
he's a beast, man. He is an animal, and he proved that against. He's a great counterpuncher, and you
Ryan
know
Garcia.
he can react just like Mayweather. He can react to what you throw. It just comes natural. You know, it's like a basketball player making moves. Whatever defense comes at him, guess what? He's just going to react, and so's Davis. He's going to counter, and that's what Crawford's very good at. And Crawford can fight left-handed, and he can fight right-handed, and there ain't many guys can do that. That's why he's my fighter of the year. So, ain't many
And
guys
he
can
can
do that.
fight backing up. And he can fight.
Yes,
He can
forward,
box. He can fight on
backwards.
the inside. He can
Yeah,
fight on the inside. He's a complete fighter.
yeah. Terrence Crawford is amazing fighter.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. How about Televido Lopez?
Lopez. Oh, okay. If he calls out Terrence Crawford again, he might get smacked. No, I'm a Lopez fan. I'm going to tell you something. I was in New York watching him fight, and he did a backflip. You know, he's a silver medal winner. He did a black backflip, and I ran out, and I was with Billy Teeter, and he goes, "Why? What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna go down there and get my picture with this guy, he's going to Los Lopez, he's going to be champion of the world. And they're like, no way he's going to be champion. Next thing you know, I get my picture with him. They're like, how'd you get your picture with the champion of the world? I said, look, I saw him do a backflip and knock some guy out, and I was like, this guy's going to be champion. and then he won the IBF championship of the world, man. You know, he's a stud. Yeah, a great fighter, great Lopez. Won the safety. He's probably in the top 10 pound for pound. But if he calls out Crawford, dead meat.
Well, here's the matchup I want to see: a boxer's dream for pound to pound, the very best. I want to see Crawford and Canelo Alvarez.
That's a great
Them two.
matchup. Great matchup.
Oh,
And
I think it's skill for, it ain't by size that you win or you fail. It's the size of the fight that you got in your heart. When you got
correct.
two great fighters in there, put them together. It's a win-win situation for boxing fans. It's like a dream matchup. Let's put it on the line, man. I think Terrence Crawford can handle it. His boxing skills are so
the
well.
Deal. We got to get we got to get who's the guy over there that's been promoting all those fights over there
In Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
I think they can make it happen over in Saudi.
They can make it happen. They got more money than God.
Show me the money, hon. Show me the money, hon.
And they don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. That your opinion don't count. Their money does. That's just the truth, like your opinion doesn't count. The money counts is what counts. And they got the money and they could do it. And great fight. Yes. Canelo and Terrence Crawford. See, the problem with that is that there's Bob Arum with Top Rank, and then we got Canelo. And, there we go. Are we going to be able to do it or not? We'll see what goes up.
Yeah.
Eddie
Well,
Hearn,
it's
right?
the money. Yeah, Eddie Hearns and them, they're in control
Let's
of the
get a
big
hold of
ducks.
Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Come on.
Come on, they got the big ducks. They got the big money. You got the DAZN money, over $1 billion investing in the boxing. Then you have the king, the kingdom, who's putting up the money. And let me tell you, the kingdom got the kind of money, as people used to say, he got so much money they can air condition hell. So the kingdom got it going on. And Assalamu alaikum to all the brothers over there and sisters in the kingdom. Y'all doing a great job by putting up that money. Show me the money, the mean green, baby. It's going to work all the time, and that's what
yeah, it's about like the story you told me when Don King threw $1 million on the table.
Oh, yeah. It was no cold cash, man. Ali, what he said, he says, man, these some rich. This here, boy, they got some money.
Oh, man.
And that's what's got it going on, and they got it going on
that's
now.
One of those stories. These are legendary stories that we live for. Yeah, but I appreciate the Black history, what you do for Black history. I appreciate what you do for boxing and the way you try to recognize people and lift people up. And in the World Boxing Review, it's been an honor being here today. I appreciate everything you've done for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And so as Fred and Keith Boggs, and we keep appreciating everything that you do. And you do a tremendous job and you cover it all. Give everybody a fair shot. And if they're great guys and contribute to the sport like Tito and down there in Florida, and guys, you recognize everybody, and we appreciate it. I just want to send out some love.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Henry Hascott, man, for years, man, every week we were on here pounding out. We went over the history of boxing. I mean, from Saturday's names, just doing names, people, groups, weight divisions, week in and week out, man. We covered a lot, and we continue to cover a lot. And with Nichelle, we created for Black History the Colored League with the heavyweight champions. We got a book published, a magazine published out for that. That's going to be released during Black History Month. And also the women African American fighters and judges and referees who were the first in and commissioner and president of organizations. We're going to have a magazine out about that. So we're just trying to keep things going, to keep people alive that may have fall through the cracks, and
Correct.
keep the game alive and keep people going, man. That's what it's all about. And we're looking to inspire, and it seems like we are inspiring people, Craig. You know what we mean? Like you
Yeah.
said, I'm searching for greatness with the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to just search out the greatness that people want to hear, people want to see, is because people were asking me. That's how, I started doing books and interviews and stuff with people, because people were saying to me, well, how come you don't cover a lot of African American or do something because nobody else? I said, well, there's a whole bunch of African Americans that they do cover. They said, well, cover the ones that they don't cover. I said, well, I'll do that. I said, but when you
Yeah.
talk about Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, the list is long. Find it. Yeah, well, they covered him. We're talking about the other. I said, all right, I'll do it. So,
Well, if your name gets mentioned, you better
hey,
be
hey, hey, like we say, just be thankful for what you get. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
But
Yes.
we're
Quit
trying to
acting like a
go.
quit acting like a spoiled kid and being all bad in this privileged world, because this privileged world don't make champions.
No, it don't make. You got that right. You got
it's,
that
it's
right.
it's in the gym.
Okay. Well, Henry Haskell says, great show by two great people. Thank you, Henry.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
and
Henry.
you're a great.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you're a great person, Henry. Uh, a great boxing guy, wit and grit, man. We pounded out like we're talking. Henry Haskell. We covered a lot of it. We have it in the can, as it's called. The shows that we did for years, Henry on the show, and we covered a lot of territory, man. And it's just amazing that we were able. And here's the amazing thing, Craig.
Yes.
People were telling me nobody wants to listen to hear them old stories and all that. I begged them to differ. People wanted to hear about it. It's all about how you talk about it. And Henry and us talked about it in the right way, or people have wanted to listen to, like me and you always do. You got to have enthusiasm with it. You have to try a
Positive.
new angle to reach the young, the old, and all of that, man. And that's what it's all about when you're telling a story. Yeah,
Yes.
like they say, well, you ain't going to believe this as HIT, and go on and tell a story. You know what
Well,
I'm saying, Craig?
it's here's what I tell them. Here's what I tell them. I got on my phone. I'll show them right off the bat when I drop Camacho. Here's another thing. I hear a lot of people say, "Why do you wear those rings? You shouldn't wear those rings." I said, "Look,
Yeah.
if you spent 4 decades chasing something and you got something, guess what? Show it."
You shut up.
Yeah, it's like a girl with a hot body wearing a
I,
great bathing suit. Is she going to show it? I
yeah,
absolutely know she's going to show it, right?
yeah. He's
My
gonna
girl
show
Nina,
it.
she's going to show it all, and I'm going to show you my rings. And if you don't like it, that's on you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Craig, look, we got to close this show, man.
Yeah, I know. I know. It was
We
a
can
great
stand
day.
here and talk to now to next week, but
Yeah.
what the heck? In closing, what do you want to say, Craig?
Well, I just want to thank everybody that tuned in today, or anybody that reaches in boxing. Again, I don't respond a lot of times when people message me on BWTV or Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Like they'll say, "Can I get more information on you?" Blah blah blah. Hey, Google it up. You can Google it all you want. I don't try to ignore people, but there's some stuff that I just can't respond to them because I don't. Half their messages is. Can you buy me a car? Can you get me here? Can you get me there? I'm a fighter. I'm looking for a gym. I don't do any of that stuff, so I don't really respond on my messenger. That's one thing I want to tell people. But another thing, I want to appreciate everybody that in boxing that does follow Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, does follow BWTV, and do positive stuff. And I continue to do positive stuff along with World Boxing Review and working with people. Teamwork makes the dream work, and that's what we're doing Snowell today. And I want to tell everybody thanks that tuned in today.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Hey, look, in closing, I like to say this here. A great person has passed, and he has moved on, as we open the show with Bob Duffy.
Correct.
Bob Duffy gave more than he received. I want to say this. Those organizations that Bob Duffy was a part, I encourage you, if you like Bob Duffy, go become a member. The membership of Ring 8's only 30, the New York. Um, Come and support those organizations by coming a member. That's how you will make Bob Duffy proud of boxing people come and became, as a part of him, a member of Ring 8, New York Boxing Hall of Fame, and stuff like that. Those organizations that he helped build, as he was 20 years for Ring 8 president, president of the New York Boxing Hall of Fame, a commissioner. Support those programs in Bob Duffy's name, man, and that alone will lift them up in a higher heaven, is because they give to boxers in need. What a
Amen.
blessing, Bob Duffy. You're going to be well missed. However, your legacy is going to live on. And for your family, hey, look, hard times don't last forever. And the comfort of the Lord will soon heal a broken heart. Our heart is a little shattered now, but in due time, it will heal again. And God is the greatest. And thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out, Ernie Brown. Love you. God bless.
God bless.
God bless.